Everybody, it is Red Jade. We're back with you to review the latest pro wrestling news and results. As part of Wrestling Reigns, baby, yeah! Let's get into it without any further delay. It's a MEGARANT this weekend on Wrestling Rants, and we are going to take a look back at Friday night's Against All Odds pay-per-view from Impact Wrestling, and lots of stuff to break down from this show. We have not one but two new singles champions, and not only did Chris Sabin defeat Trey Miguel for the X Division Championship, but the big news coming out of this one was in one of the biggest surprises in Impact history, and that covers a lot of ground. Shelley, the other half of the Motor City Machine Guns, defeated Steve Maclin for the Impact World Championship, and he is the new Impact World Champion. Can you believe it? Many years ago, almost a little over 10 years ago, I think it was, Chris Sabin got that Impact World Championship run. It was not very long, but it was kind of a meaningful moment as he was one of the original TNA guys. Same with Shelley. And here we are, Shelley finally getting that gold. New World Heavyweight Champion. Time will tell how long he will hold that title. I could unfortunately see Maclin maybe regaining it at some point in a rematch. Maybe as soon as last night they did a taping with the Access tapings, as the fallout from Against All Odds happened in the same location, Columbus, Ohio. Have not gotten any reports from that show yet. I've not seen anything online as of yet. So we'll be talking about the results from the tapings from last night, the fallout from Against All Odds, tomorrow as part of laying the rant down, since we're going to be doing that on Monday, considering we're doing the MEGARANT today. So be looking for that tomorrow, right here at Wrestling Rants. Hopefully by that time we'll have some spoiler results from that taping with the Against All Odds fallout the next night. So both Motor City Machine Guns celebrate as this show ends. Big moment. This felt like a big deal with both guys winning the single titles for both the X Division. That is Sabin's 9th reign. And then Shelley for his first Impact World Championship reign. So how about that for a big fallout from this show that I did not expect. So let's get into the meat and potatoes of things. One more thing before we get into it. Nick Aldis became the #1 contender in the 8-4-1 match. And that means Aldis against Shelley at Slammiversary, maybe. I am not convinced that perhaps Maclin will get the title back before then. I guess time will tell, because Shelley against Nick Aldis on paper doesn't sound super tremendous, but then again, neither did Aldis and Maclin. So we'll see where they go with it. One thing seems to be, at least in my opinion, clear, that I think Nick Aldis is going to be maybe the next champion if Maclin doesn't defeat Shelley before that. So time will tell. All right, let's get into things here on the report for Against All Odds, star ratings, match times, etc., etc. This was the 12th Against All Odds pay-per-view from the Impact brand. This goes back a long ways away, back in the early 2000s when they started this monthly pay-per-view concept, or I guess yearly it would be. And we're at number 12 at this point. So it's been around for a while. There's been some years that it's skipped, but it's still active as one of the major pay-per-view brands for Impact. This was from the Columbus, Ohio Expo Arena. Have not gotten any particulars on attendance yet, but just by looking at the crowd at the show, I would guess probably around between 1,200 to 1,500 in attendance or something like that. It's a decent-sized crowd for Impact standards. Let's get into the pre-show matches. One was kind of added last minute, and that was Kylan King in the opener over Nevaeh, who we have not seen in quite some time. She used to be in Impact. I think she got caught up in the mix of the fallout with the Christ brothers for a long time. I think it was Jake Christ, who was the guy, one of the Christ brothers, who came back recently. Jake Christ is with Nevaeh. They are a couple. So with Jake Christ returning to Impact,
That leaves the opportunity for Nevaeh to return, which she did on this show. Time will tell if she'll be a regular in the company again, but she looked okay in this opener with Kylan King of the Coven. Kylan King won with the King's Curse at 5 minutes 2 seconds. I went 3 stars on this one. The other pre-show match was Joe Henry over Dirty Dango for the Impact Digital Media Championship at 6 minutes 29 seconds. I went a solid 3.25 stars on this one. It was probably their best match they have had so far. There was a lot more storyline involved in this one, with Dango turning heel, with the obviously we're going to see Santino and Dirty Dango getting into it probably at Slammiversary. So a lot of moving parts in this storyline. Match was all right. It felt definitely like a pre-show match, though, no doubt. Then we get into the actual opening event Against All Odds. After the video package, we get Kazarian over Eddie Edwards with a roll-up that looked like a botched finish. There was a count that was messed up by the referee prior, so they went to the well again and went with a roll-up for the finish. The majority of this match was actually pretty good. This was built up pretty well in the storylines, I thought, as well. 3.75 stars they went on this one. 12.5 minutes of time. Like I said, Kazarian wins with a roll-up. Probably going to see this program continue a little bit further down the road. Match number 4 was for the Impact Tag Championships. The team of Bay and Austin ABC over the Good Hands. I went 3 stars on this one. The one guy from the Good Hands is definitely slows down the other guy, not Jason Hodge. I can't remember the other guy's name. Skyler? He's all right, but there's just something missing with these guys. They got Brian Myers as manager as well. So all hands are quote-unquote on deck. But still something a little missing with the Good Hands tag team. Like I said, I went 3 stars in a 9-minute and 41-second match on this one. Art of Finesse and the Fold for the finish on that tag title match. Then came the dog collar match, which I really enjoyed. This was Masha Slamovich over Killer Kelly. I went 3.75 stars on this one. Just a lot of physical spots in this match, a lot of creative spots as well by the women in this one. And I thought the gimmick worked well with this. And 11 minutes and 51 seconds of work. It was definitely a lot of physicality. Masha Slamovich, this was nothing compared to some of the physicality she's shown in her GCW run, but still, this was quite the physical bout, and a lot of crowd interaction in this match, too. They were really feeling it in the dog collar match. So Masha goes over Killer Kelly. After the match, Masha drops the dog collar, kind of signifying maybe this is it for the program. Time will tell. Then we get into the real meat of the card, the second part of the card here, which starts to really hit well. After Masha and Killer Kelly, which was a great match, like I said, 3.75, we go to the X Division Championship match, which we did see a title change in. Chris Sabin gets the win over Trey Miguel, number 9. This is the 9th X Division Championship reign. That is a record for sure for TNA/Impact wrestlers. Sabin goes over Miguel in a really hotly contested match, back and forth, good spots. This was better than their previous match at Under Siege. I went 4.25 stars, but 13-minute, 11-second match. Sabin finally wins with a huge, really like Texas-style clothesline, really stiff, and then gets the cradle shock on Trey Miguel for the win. And Sabin celebrates once again, getting that X Division Championship. And then that foreshadows Shelley also getting the world title later as the Motor City Machine Guns reign real high on this show Against All Odds. Up next, match number 7. This was part of the 8-4-1 match, which starts as a 4-against-4 match. Winners of that match then go into a 4-way, with the winner of that match being the number 1 contender. So we have Bully Ray, Heath Slater, Jonathan Gresham, and Nick Aldis winning the 8-man tag against Speedball Mike Bailey, PCO, Moose, and Rich Swann. Good action in this one. I went 3.25 stars. 10 minutes, 32 seconds of action. Lots of stuff with the partners on each team not getting along very well. Particularly Moose and Rich Swann were having issue. Moose was supposed to spear Gresham. He accidentally spears Swann. Doesn't really give a shit about it. And then at that point, they get Moose out of the ring, and Gresham covers Rich Swann for the win. So that team of Bully Ray, Heath Slater, Jonathan Gresham, and Nick Aldis reigns in this one. Then we get to the match 8, which is the four-way match as part of 841. And Nick Aldis won this one with a clover leaf on Heath Slater. Another big part of this match was Scott D'Amore showing back up. If you recall, D'Amore was put in through a flaming table by Bully Ray in the previous pay-per-view. So he was out to get revenge here and actually clobbers Bully Ray a few times with the chair as some sort of revenge. I kind of think we're going to see Bully Ray against Impact President Scott D'Amore maybe at Slammiversary. Seems to be where it's lining up. But 8 minutes and 30 seconds of this match, I went once again 3 1/4 stars on this one. Then we get into match 9. This was the women tag match with Deonna Purrazzo and Trinity over Giselle Shaw and Savannah the Cannibal Evans. I went 3 stars, maybe 3 1/4. They didn't give it a ton of time either. I think it was like 9 minutes and 20 seconds I had on this one. Not a whole lot to say about this match. I felt like something was missing here. I don't know what it was exactly, but it felt like just a match maybe that would be like a main event on Impact perhaps, or even something to open Impact on another hand. Deonna did get the win with a cradle on Savannah Evans for the win. Afterwards, Jay Vidal got involved in it as well. They were trying to take out Deonna Purrazzo. Trinity makes the save. Very cookie cutter stuff here. It definitely wasn't a highlight of the show, but it was okay. It was on. Then we get into OVE and a 6-man over the design in an Ohio street fight. Really high intensity here. These guys were going all out. Lots of hard chair shots. We had barbed wire spots, barbed wire boards. We had all kinds of stuff going on here. We had thumbtacks in this match with Callahan. Took a bump through them. Just a lot of brawling in this one. I liked it. This was one of the better hardcore matches I've seen in Impact in a while. At 4 stars for this one. Basically, this felt like a blow-off, too, which was good because this feud was kind of getting a little long in the tooth. Callahan won with a pile driver onto Diener, onto a barbed wire board for the finish. So, looked pretty stiff for a finish as well. I'll just put it out there on that one. So, OVE goes over the design in that Ohio street fight. And then we get into the main event, which was for the Impact Championship, and we did see a new world champion crown as Alex Shelley defeats Steve Macklin in 22 minutes and 38 seconds. They paced this match like a main event world title match, and it delivered at 4 1/4 stars. And a clean match as well. Alex Shelley won clean with the shell shot for the victory. The last 5, 6, 7 minutes of this match were really excellent stuff, and the crowd was getting really into it. They started smelling a title change, and sure enough, they got a title change in this one. Big win. Felt like a big deal at the end of this show. In fact, they did a post-show that saw Sabin and Shelley in the ring cutting a promo, thanking the fans, and talking about their history in the company. This was really good. I thought from top to bottom, this pay-per-view felt pretty damn special. This felt like a pay-per-view that you could have easily paid a little bit more money for. This felt not like a secondary tier pay-per-view and more like one of their bigger pay-per-views of the year because of the title switches, because of the big moment with the Motor City Machine Guns at the end of the show. This was a fun show, top to bottom. I'm going to go A- on this one. I can't see really anything too wrong with the show, other than a few matches that really were just kind of there. But the main matches delivered. We had 3 matches in the 4-star range, which getting that in an Impact ring is a quality show for sure. So all in all, Really good stuff against all odds this time around, and an A- for the show. So tomorrow back on Laying the Rant Down, we're going to be talking about the fallout from Against All Odds, what it means for a lot of these guys, like Steve Macklin. Where is he going now? Is he going to get that title back from Alex Shelley in a rematch, or are they moving on in a different direction with him as an example? So stay tuned. Come back tomorrow for Laying the Rant Down. We talk about all kinds of industry news. In the fold, we're going to be talking about Forbidden Door rumors. We're going to be talking about CM Punk stuff leading to Collision, and a whole lot more, including Impact spoilers from the night after this show, Against All Odds, right here tomorrow, right here at Wrestling Rant. So come on back tomorrow for plenty more with Laying the Rant Down. And the countdown is on next week. On Saturday, I will be from Chicago and Collision. So stay tuned for that as well, as there's going to be a lot of content from the Chicago area this next coming weekend. See you right back here tomorrow for some more wrestling. Red Sabin.